The technique called replace parameter with method call means replacing a parameter with a method call to get the value we need dynamically. This technique helps remove unnecessary dependencies and makes the code simpler by letting the method itself provide the parameter value. Using this technique is a powerful way to make our code easier to read, maintain, and change as needed. Hello guys, welcome to this lecture. In this lecture, we'll be focusing on the replace parameter with method call technique. This technique falls under the method refactoring category in our refactoring diagram. In the add parameter technique lecture, we discussed when it's appropriate to remove a field and replace it with a parameter. Now, with the replace parameter with method call technique, we focus on situations where it's better to use a method to obtain the parameter value instead of adding the parameter directly. To show you how the replace parameter with method call technique works, let's look at an example. Suppose we have a method called calculate total cost that calculates the total price of an order item. It relies on parameters such as the product price, discount rate, and tax rate. In the current implementation, the method requires the caller to explicitly provide the product price, discount rate, and tax rate as parameters. As you can see, we first call 3 separate methods to obtain these parameter values. Then, we pass those values to the calculate total cost method to calculate the total cost of the product. If these variables are only used as parameters and have no further purpose, it's better to obtain the required values by calling their respective methods directly inside the calculate total cost method. This is where the replace parameter with method call technique becomes useful. So, let's implement this technique step by step. The first step is to ensure that the method we wanna transfer doesn't use any parameters except for the return value of the methods we wanna transfer. In this example, only the getDiscountRate method uses a parameter, and it's the return value of the calculatePrice method we wanna transfer. The second step is to review all the methods we wanna transfer. If the code inside those methods is more complex than a simple call, we need to use the extract method or other related techniques to break down the complex code into simpler and separate methods. In this case, there are no such issues and all 3 methods are simple. The third step is to replace all parameter references in the method with method calls. Okay. In this case, let's transfer these 3 methods and their return values inside the calculate total cost method. Alright, the final step is to remove the parameters that are no longer needed. As you can see, after applying this refactoring technique, our code becomes much easier to understand. Okay, previously our process involved calculating the product price, then determining the discount percentage based on that price, and finally obtaining the tax rate. We used all these values to calculate the final cost. But now we have simplified things. We directly calculate the total cost without showing the step-by-step calculation. In programming, we refer to this concept as abstraction, which is one of the fundamental principles of object-oriented programming. Alright, As we mentioned earlier, we can pass methods as parameters when we only need their return values. However, if we later find that we need to use this value in another part of the code, we would need to return that method and pass its value as a parameter to the previous method. This way, we can use it in the new place where it's needed. Okay, done. See you soon.